I got nothing to say about this game. Bengals 19, Rams 10. I just can't think of anything to say on here. I think NFL Game Day said it best when their highlight reel of this game was exactly 59 seconds long. Torrey Holt went over 1,000 yards for the 8th straight time in his career. Palmer struggled, but the Bengals were able to run the ball well. Steven Jackson had a big play. That's really all I can say about this game because it's got two pretty lifeless teams in it, and there was just nothing interesting to take from it, I don't think. So, moving on to a good game, a game that I got the very end of, San Diego and Tennessee, and as TMQ often states, sometimes all you have to do is run the ball up the middle for no gain and everything will be fine. Tennessee could have learned from this. They had that 14-point lead going into the fourth. Their defense was dominating the game, and their offense was beginning to find its stride because early in this game, obviously, there was no offense. All the quarterbacks in the game, there were like 4 different ones that got to play. They were all struggling. The running games were having a hard time finding room a little bit. And Tennessee ended up with the two-touchdown lead. And it fell apart in the fourth, obviously, culminating with Phillip Rivers hitting Gates for that touchdown to tie it with 9 seconds left. But I go back to the Titans drive right before the Chargers game-tying drive. They had 3rd and 4, and they passed it, so San Diego didn't have to use their last timeout, and ultimately they needed that last timeout on that last drive. So if they had just run the ball up the middle for no gain and punted it away, they could have either forced San Diego to use another timeout or taken the game down to the 2-minute warning. San Diego tied the game up with 9 seconds left. Tennessee blew a chance to use possibly 40 more seconds off the clock. So you do the math. That's really what this game comes down to. Their defense got tired when it counted, and I can't blame them for that. At the end of the game there, what else are you going to do? Both running games got hot later in the game. All the quarterbacks played pretty poorly, but guess who came up big when it mattered? And for the first time in a while, it wasn't Vince Young who came up with the big fourth quarter drive. No, it was the other guy. And also, nice job by the San Diego special teams. They did some real nice work on punts. They pinned Tennessee inside the 5-yard line two times, and forced Tennessee to go 3 and out. Tennessee punted, and then San Diego would drive down for the touchdown. And obviously that was huge. So, real nice job by them. They've got the AFC West by the balls, and Tennessee, they're pretty much left for dead at this point. They're going to have to win out to have any shot, and even then, I don't think it's going to happen. Houston over Tampa. I kind of missed this one. I had a sneaking suspicion, but I didn't want to follow it. But Tampa just kind of slept through this one. I think they were just kind of comfortably numb. I don't know. It's weird. As far as pretty large upsets go, this game was wholly uninteresting and not very highly covered. So I think that says a lot. Luke McCown played well. Joby Galloway's having a nice season. And all in all, Tampa did do some things right, but their defense just kind of struggled through this game, and it's not the first time this year that Tampa's defense has mysteriously just been incapable of stopping the other team, especially when you're talking about Sage Rosenfeld and Ron Dane and Damian Walker, whatever his name is. And, Ernest Graham continues to have an under-the-radar, pretty good season. And ultimately, it came down to that special teams Tampa Bay touchdown. Mario Williams got another sack, and he's having a real nice season. I think he's got 9.5. Teaming up nice with Amobi Okoye, who's having a nice rookie campaign. And Mario, he's going to be a player. He's playing better than Vince Young or Reggie Bush right now. I'll say that much. definitely. And nice outing by Houston. One more win, and they've surpassed what they did last year. And right now for this franchise, it is about the baby steps and just moving in the right direction. So that's a good thing for that franchise to be doing right now. And as for Tampa, the division is still theirs, essentially. But, they cost themselves a good chance at the 3 seed, so there you go. And Giants-Eagles, I keep expecting Philadelphia to start playing up to the level of talent that they have on that team, because there is talent there, but, I don't know why, frankly. I guess I just, I keep picking them. I think I've only picked against them like 2 or 3 times this year. I even picked them against Seattle. That's how much faith I have in this team, and I'm starting to wonder why now. It's just, I look at this team's roster and I see a lot of talent, but it doesn't come out on game day, and it's kind of weird and disheartening for that franchise, certainly. That first drive, they looked great, and then they forced the Giants to go 3 and out, and I was thinking, I smell a blowout. And the rest of the game, they get 6 points. And that's not speaking anything of momentum, as in you have to take advantage of the momentum of that those first two drives and do something, which they should have done. I mean, Donovan couldn't complete a pass when it really mattered, or at least had a hard time, and couldn't get anything downfield going. Westbrook had a good game, but didn't get the ball enough, especially on the ground. I think they really had opportunities to shred the Giants if they just got him the ball a little more. And it ultimately comes down to the receivers not making enough big plays. They didn't have a single passing play longer than 20 yards. And defensively, they had a hard time coming up with a stop when they needed it. They let off some big runs near the end. Plexico Burress had a pretty big game against them for the first time in a while, and he's injured, so that's certainly a little unusual. There are just a lot of things wrong with this team right now, but I still think the talent's there, but it's just not coming out on game day, and I guess maybe you pin that on the coaching staff. And in the end, it did come down to a really, really long field goal that very nearly made it, but it didn't. And now the Eagles can look back on the 1st and goal they had that they turned into a field goal. They can look back on any number of things this season, and they're out of it now. 8-8 is not going to get you into the playoffs this year. And as for the Giants, the 5th wildcard spot, it's theirs. It's theirs. They'd have to collapse in pretty humiliating fashion to lose that. I think that Minnesota could give them a bit of a run for their money for that spot. They have to win 2 of their... They have to beat Washington and Buffalo to close out the season here, looks like. Not a necessarily easy task, but I think they're up to it. Minnesota beat San Francisco. Just not a lot to say here except what's up with Adrian? He hit a rookie wall. I guess, these rookies, sometimes they just hit a wall in the rookie season and start struggling. And he also hit Patrick Willis, who's a rookie wall of his own. He's having a great season, of course, and he, played a nice part in stopping up Adrian Peterson for one of the few times this season. Just completely shut down. But, of course, that's why you have a Chester Taylor. And like I said, I'm terrified of this team. As a Seattle fan, I'm not afraid of Dallas. Bring on Dallas. I mean, I don't know if we'll beat them or not, but I'm not afraid of them. I think we can go in there and have as good a chance as anyone else. And same with Green Bay, same with the Buccaneers, same with any other team. But Minnesota, that team terrifies me right now because they're hitting their stride right now. I think that they're the most dangerous dark horse in this conference. So, they're passing the ball well, they're playing good defense, they're getting big plays, they're running the ball well. Just terrifying to me. I'm more scared of them than any other team. I think we can play with anybody, but I'm terrified what Minnesota can do when they're on. And as for the 49ers, not a lot to say. Sean Hill came in and played real well, but it ultimately doesn't matter. This team is just really in the dumpster right now, and it goes beyond what's going on field because They are bad on field, but if you look off field, they just don't seem to like each other that much. Nolan's lost control of the locker room. People are calling out Alex Smith. So many things going wrong right there, and it could take a while, if ever, to recover.